Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the first EUCS semi-final between Epsilon and Misfits. Of course, game one went to Misfits there in a fairly close game, actually more close than I was expecting between Epsilon and Misfits coming in as the 4th seed.
Which is weird because we were like, well, there was a quadra, nearly a penta, and it was a 30-minute game, basically. Yeah. So it's like, hey, it was closer than we thought. But for real, Epsilon in the beginning of the game actually looked a lot better than, we thought, because a lot of teams just fall at that first hurdle to Misfits and never end up ahead.
Pretty much. I mean, it was kind of like the top lane triangle, really, that did really well. I mean, ignoring the bottom lane, like mid lane had some really good roams. I mean, like jungle got in the opposing jungle and had some really good invades. Top lane was kind of doing okay. I mean, like it was going even, but then it started going quite badly. I mean, we have some of the stats here. Sartorius. I mean, yeah, like as the game went on, there was not a lot he could do. He did have like a fairly decent play at the end where it was just like, well, there was 4 people there, all low health, so he just walked into them and managed to stop them. It wasn't quite the Jankos play that we saw in EUCS, but it was close.
There was just a couple of weird ones from Sartorius where he like took on the 1v2 bot lane and just died under his tower, and you're like, you could have just walked away from this. Yeah. Whereas his lane opponent predominantly was just kind of crushing people in fights and like had good ultimates. Like Alfari's Gangplank was pretty damn good. Yeah. Not going to win any awards for it. Like, let's be real. Stole a penta. So that'll count for a lot. I'm sure.
Exactly. That should have been our stat there. Stole penta from Selfie.
Everything else doesn't matter.
But no, it was really good. And just in general, like I've been impressed by Alfari during the split. Like the carry meta is definitely suiting him. Can generally just like win his lane outright. And right there, I mean, like that wasn't like a champion that you necessarily just need to get ahead in lane. You just want to farm until the point and survive, and then have those good ultimates, have the barrel chaining, and we saw pretty much all of that from Alfari.
Yeah, so all of it. I was pretty impressed with his performance. Let's see how it goes when we get into game 2, though. I'm looking forward to seeing if we get a Malzahar back, if we get a Gangplank. Like, GP's not quite on the same level of Malzahar of, like, why is there...
I mean, FLICKR played it. Yeah, so, I mean, if FLICKR played it, then it's fine. I mean, he played Irelia mid and Olaf mid, so... and AP Time French mid. Well, yeah, I was just... We'll see how he picks it as well, because... I mean, I don't know if like Coscu played it against solo queue, and it was just like, well, I know Cassiopeia is good into it because we saw that one interaction. Yeah. But it just doesn't. I just don't see it as like a blind pick mid lane.
One player I kind of want to keep my eyes on when it comes to attitude from last game to this game is I want to keep an eye on Wisdom, because something crazy must be in the water here in Berlin, because Wisdom was just like, I'm going in. Yeah. Like all the time.
Yeah, he dove like the tower mid lane and top lane.
Which is not really the Wisdom that we've always known. He's normally been a little bit more pensive, make team fight decisions, farm up a lot, and then react when he needs to, not just go aggressive.
I mean, it's funny because sometimes we look at like isolated deaths for players, and typically his isolated deaths are when he's getting called out, if he goes to do something by himself or gets caught in his own jungle. This time it's because he was diving people inside their inhibitor towers. It was like way different in terms of how he was dying. Yes. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe Berlin's just affected Wisdom. I'm not really sure. But either way, it was fun to watch, and he generally killed whoever he was gunning for. So yeah, he got, there was at least that going for him. We got a second game champion slate. Silver linings. I mean, like Hachi did remove the Baron buff from the Karma in top lane, so that was actually good. But still, double support ban, triple support ban. No, Malzahar ban. Okay, so Epsilon respect the Malzahar enough to ban it.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, they struggled to deal with it the later the game went.
Yes, but I don't feel like Coscu felt anything in the mid lane. Yes, he got the early kill, which helped, but I don't know. I guess if there's nothing else you really want to ban, then Malzahar is like a fine ban, just because of how it was different coming in from Misfits.
They can maybe Nidalee here if they want it. If they want to steal it away. We know it's been a big pick from for Kirei. Again, we talked about Kirei from all the, like last year. Last year he was crushing people on Nidalee.
Nidalee Elise like all the time, so I like the first pick coming in from Epsilon. Misfits, do they just go for lane dominant picks again?
I think they can just pick the Lucian perhaps here if they want it. Although, hang on, what was banned that isn't? So
Sivir.
Vlad is available, Sivir is available, Gragas is available. So there are 3 top big picks
that were banned out from
last game.
Epsilon.
We may see the Vlad come out in that.
From Selfie, yeah.
Just because of how strong it is right now.
Yeah, I mean, Selfie usually picks it later into the draft, typically. You generally do that unlike Red Side. And if Epsilon, they could prioritize it for Cosq. But Selfie's Vlad has been really, really good so far. Looking at... okay, so Sivir has been locked in, still waiting on the next pickup. But yeah, that was banned out last game against Hansama. And Rek'Sai as well for Wisdom. So yeah, next in line, now that Nidalee has been taken away. Didn't go for the Lees though, so yeah, just going for the Rek'Sai for frontline.
I like it. It gives them a basis where they can work on multiple lanes now as well. Rek'Sai, that's one of the good things that Wisdom has been able to do, is play over on that side lane if they've required it. And we saw with the Gangplank in the last game, and some of the attempt of the Malzahar of being in the side lane just to set it up so that it pushes. Maybe we'll see something similar come from them, but with the Sivir, you also now have the ability to disengage fairly easily with the on the hunt, back yourself away. So we'll watch for the rest of the draft.
That's true. That was actually very useful for Epsilon, the Karma, which has been banned away this game. And looking towards their next 2 pickups.
Okay.
So locking in the Caitlyn for Warlight. Epsilon have had some success on this pick so far in the regular season, and Nami as well for Noxiac. So this seems more of a try and survive laning phase lane than we had last game.
That's what I was going to say. Is this is a we're just going to play defensive and hold on. The opposite of that is picking Alistair into Caitlyn Nami, which screams we're going to lane swap or we're going to lose a laning phase. Yeah, because Caitlyn good into Sivir, Nami good into Alistair. Generally.
I mean, like, Alistair just at the moment generally says lane swap because it's Alistair.
That's true.
We very rarely see Alistair nowadays if your name isn't Hiva.
We also saw it from Yellowstar in one game, and everybody hated it.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you playing Alistair right now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Not a good pick.
Yeah, he just got hit so many times with nerfs. His Triumphant Roar was nerfed, his ultimate was nerfed, everything really. So yeah, seen very much less of that pick, but it's still very good in what he does. Like, you can still die, but you just can't necessarily survive when you go in, because it's 50% at rank 1 now. You could generally stay at like rank 1 ultimate and just be able to dive towers all day, but can't really do that anymore. Alfari with the Gangplank again, I liked it last game. There's the Gragas, that was banned last time.
So that
where
makes
does
it
that
top
go?
lane.
Yeah, Nidalee's been picked up, so that'll be top lane Sartorius, and the Cassiopeia for Cosq. Yeah, I saw nothing wrong with Cosq's Cassiopeia. If anything, it was really, really good from last game.
Yeah, it was good. He struggled in team fights when people had already kind of got themselves ahead, like when Hansama had 4 kills already, and then Selfie was starting to pick up kills. Speaking of Selfie, he's locked in the Kassadin very quickly. So we are playing on multiple side lanes here. Like, we're not running a 1-4-1. It's 1-4-1. Yeah, 6 players. We're playing Hexakill now, Pulse. We're not running a 1-4. This is you can have Rek'Sai side lane, GP side lane, Kassadin side lane, all good. So we'll see whether Epsilon can hold on to all that. Yeah, because Cassiopeia you can't really run TP on, so you can't really play her over in a pushing way on a side lane. You wouldn't want to anyway. Purely defensive in that capacity, and then you have to hope they don't start a team fight.
Yeah, Sartorius as well on the Gragas. I mean, he doesn't push very fast, but we'll be able to stymie a push in one of the side lanes. But yeah, it's we'll be trying to play around the Caitlyn mid lane, or mid game rather, maybe in the mid lane. Do often put that pick in the mid lane, around the mid game. But
you okay over there?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Mid lane, mid game, push it in the lane.
Push it in the lane. Yeah, okay. I just wonder how this one's gonna go, because they could be mid game in the mid lane. We'll see. Use hashtag mid lane. No, use hashtag EPS win or hashtag MSF win for who you think is gonna pick up this game. 89% was in the last game. You guys said Misfits. 89% of you were correct. But will it change this game?
Well, we're going to have to find out. Well, we've got Thunder Cow in effect. Thunderlord, Alistair. Oh, yeah.
I like it.
It's fairly common these days when you see Alistair picked up, just because you trade so effectively well with it in the early game. You just walk up to somebody and basically trample them to death with the passive that normally does nothing, but when you add a Thunderlord proc onto it, suddenly Alistair has a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's actually decent in the early mid game. It's very similar theory to Thresh.
Yep.
Ignar, he's going to literally just walk up to Noxiac. He actually just walked up slowly and knocked up Noxiac, and we'll probably be looking for the kill here as well with the Ignite First Blood to Handsammer.
No, don't stop.
What? Kotsky, don't walk back into Ignar. He's looking for another Pulverize. Meanwhile, Handsammer driving low to Warline. He's going to flash after him, but he's outside of range. Handsammer's already backing up, but Kirei's here. He'll flash into his own jungle. Warline's trying to pick up the kill, but it's not like he has E. Now he's trapped in the enemy jungle. Oh no, Misfits are just going to kill him. Selfie's low as well. Whoa, attack from Warline. It's not going to be enough. Kirei is trying to save his allies. What was this level 1?
The start to this game sums up Clown Fiesta at the beginning of this. Like, okay, we need to rewatch how Noxiac did not just walk away from Ignar in the beginning of that. Like, was his vision cut somehow? Is what I'm kind of watching. Hopefully observers can like vision. They were in the bush. My apologies, I missed the initial part of them being in the bush. So that's how Noxiac got caught. And from there, it's fairly straightforward for this first kill. Woolite should just back away. You should not go towards this bush 2 versus 3 in the early game. Little unfortunate he was out of range there. Handsammer with a good reaction flash over the wall.
I can't believe he still has flash.
Only got 1 auto. No, me neither. Like, holding his flash for that long. And then from here, it's Woolite was always going to die.
I mean, where are you going to go?
Oh, Woolite just didn't have the vision.
Yeah.
Oh, that's painful.
May have survived long enough to get the auto attack down had Ignar not been running Thunderlords, because the Thunderlords proc came in and was just barely enough to finish him off. So
very possible.
Yeah.
I missed that they were in the bush at the beginning, so I was checking on my screen some of the keystones as well.
Yeah, but you don't expect 2 kills to come from that.
That is true. But I mean, neither did Noxiac really, by the looks of it. One of them went onto Handsammer and did go back to buy a longsword. And Woolite doesn't have any potions here. He has a Nami though for some sustain, but it means that in any kind of short burst trades, you know, the Q comes out from Handsammer and they effectively trade back. So 2 assists over to Selfie. He's picked up the Dark Seal to start the game. He starts it with 2 stacks.
Yeah.
Oh god.
This is already going quite well. He knew how that first trade was going to go at the level 1.
I wish that were the case. He was so confident that that was going to happen.
Starting off the game with an 800, 900 gold advantage is pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, Dark Seal, a lot of people will look at that and be like, man, he was so confident to begin this. And as we spoke about on LCS a fair amount this past week, you know, cast it in safe 1 to 6.
Yeah.
So you can kind of just get Dark Seal. It assists you when it comes to your sustain. You're not likely to die. Once you get 6, you're so safe, it's not even funny. So it's not exactly a show-off build to start. It's just standard.
It almost never is. I mean, like, every single champion that we see nowadays pick up Dark Seal is because they are... We were praising his barrel uses last game as well, but every champion we see picks it up because they are safe, like a Maokai, like Echo. Yep. Satori's going to jump onto Alphari, but doesn't have kill potential just yet. So yeah, pretty much. It's not because you're just BMing your opponent anymore.
No. Kairi...
Oh, I mean, he's caught out here. Wisdom's going to find him, and yes, you are Nidalee, but Rek'Sai does have a lot of damage in the early game, especially with red buff. Going to tunnel after him. We'll have the Prey Seeker up. Hero's going to pounce. There's Prey Seeker. Now, if he had 2 more Prey Seekers...
Yeah, he couldn't close the distance quite fast enough. Alphari was TPing back from the base, so didn't quite have the ability to cut down. Back up to this top duo lane. Still no potions for Caitlyn, but they've been able to sustain up pretty well with Nami. You can see the damage coming out from CosQ already.
Yeah. Even though Caston's fairly safe.
Woolite?
Whoa, Woolite. He's just kind of caught out. Here comes the Ignite as well. Bubble onto Hansama. Going to try and jump to safety. Ignar's going to punch him to death, though. Kill to Ignar. Meanwhile, Noxiac trading against Hansama, but it's Nami versus Sivir. Eventually, Sivir's going to win.
Oh.
Combo from Ignar. Oh, big cow. 2-0-2 in this game.
Oh, man. That is painful. Again, the 2v2 goes the way of Misfits, and when a Caitlyn is forced to rush level 2 boots before any damage item,
Rip.
This Caitlyn is not getting into the game for a very, very long time. So what happened?
He separated.
Why is Woolite that far forward? Like, I know he's trying to chase back Ignar and Hansama, but at this point you've already kind of... You're going even in the lane, right? Mm-hmm. You've already given away 1 kill early, which is fine in the sense that, like, the laning phase then being even is actually okay.
Yeah.
But then you try and harass down for, like, 1 more auto onto the Sivir. I understand why you're trying to go for that, but it's too greedy. It's trying to regroup too quickly in this game.
There's so many things to say, but Ignar has picked up mobility boots, so already he's trying to roam and try and get a gank down the mid. Luckily it was warded. Oh, hello. But yeah, Misfits, like, we were expecting a lane swap coming in as well. Try and get the Alistar Sivir outside of a lane matchup against Caitlyn Nami, but they just 2v2 killed them again. In another game.
It's the disrespect, though, from Woolite stepping up that far, because you can't rely on net as an actual escape tool. Like, it doesn't work fast enough. Hang on, barrel bottom lane.
Alfari's been knocked into Sartorius. He's going to have to burn his ultimate javelin from long range. Kirei trying to get in there for a pounce. Woolite, meanwhile, in the top lane. This is 2v2 again. Not quite enough to finish off Woolite, but will burn his flash away.
Alfari survived?
How?
How did he survive that? There was a niddly... Oh,
what? Why?
Oh, he didn't have flash available. He just used it.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is all going so horribly wrong.
That dual lane is 0-5 stress.
It's gone so horribly wrong in the beginning of this game for Epsilon. Just time and time again, Hansama and Ignar going aggressive, getting the damage down, and then Epsilon are trying to cut corners, trying to stay in the lane there to be able to hang on somehow in this matchup. But they are so incredibly far behind.
I mean, come on. When that happens in game 1 and you are so far down despite the rest of the map doing well, you can't do it again.
Look at this. Noxiac has nothing he can do. This is like... Nami generally is a decent setup here because of how long range these two champions should be into Alistar Sivir, but the Epsilon bot lane is pushed up. Woolite pushes himself to the wall and the tower. Oh, if there's one spot you don't want to be against, like, a skill shot based champion bot lane.
Well, body in the bot lane. Gone. Misfits, all of them are down here. 2 kills in rapid succession. Uh-oh. Noxiac and Woolite, they're on top of each other. Ignar's looking for the most fantastic pulverize of all time. He'll get it onto Woolite. Selfie's going to follow up. There's the force pulse. Kozku comes in from the mid lane. Maybe they're able to get 1 kill in return.
Got it.
Noxiac picked up the kill. Oh, this could not be going worse for Epsilon. Up. And Kozku, I can't tell who's trapped right now. Kozku jumps after Alfaro. They'll both flash away.
Chasing him
but
into
Hansama's
3.
coming down. Ignar's there to cut him off. Ultimate onto 2. But he's being chased down. He's got nowhere to go. Oh, the fadeaway boomerang out from Hansama will pick up that one.
Dead.
Noxiac caught out of position. Pulverize headbutt combo. Noxiac also dies. Good lord. 10-1 stress. We both had the same thought at the same time.
Oh, man, this the beginning of this game. I don't think we've seen go quite this horribly in a Challenger Series game at all. Misfits just crushing the fight bot lane because Ignar is there. He's already level 6. Like, he's strong enough. Didn't even have to use his ultimate in the beginning. Hits another combo. Woolite dies. Selfie had roamed down too. I mean, there's not a whole lot to break down here. Kozku realistically should not start chasing Alfari here. He feels like it's fine because Noxiac is there, but look, Ignar's in vision this entire way. Hansama cuts down as well, and Kozku's like, oh, I really shouldn't have chased this. And you're just there thinking, well, no, you really shouldn't have. And then Noxiac stays around for long enough to die as well.
Level 4 Nami. This is the point in the game where if you're Ignar, You just go full AP.
And they got a tower. Thank you, observers.
I would just go Lichbane from here for Ignar.
We're at about 6,000 gold at 10 minutes. As an advantage.
Yep. That's a big goal disparity.
Especially on Kosku's dead.
Yes, he is.
Hansama has now extended his lead over Woolite. Okay, yeah.
I mean, the kills are happening too fast now to even call.
This is one of these games where the optimism of, hey, it's great, they can play for X, just escapes completely.
Hansama is so far ahead. 2,300 gold ahead.
That's basically...
Well, I only have 3,000 gold.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's more gold than Noxiac is worth.
Yeah.
His total life savings right now are eclipsed by Hansama's
advantage over Woolite.
Wealth.
Yep. Well, so looking towards game 3. But seriously, Misfits, 11 minutes into a game, in a scrim, both teams would have quit out by now and just said, okay, go next.
Yeah. When you've got a 4-0 Sivir, a 3-1 Kassadin that has Rod of Ages finished at this point, and you're basically still even dominating their CS as well at the same time, 99 on your AD carry to 79. I mean, Woolite has had some farm, but still has a million years to go before he ends up being relevant in this game.
It's weird. This is how I thought game 1 was going to go.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting game 2 after actually a pretty decent performance from Epsilon to go this way, but it's just been so many small missteps, which has surmounted in this massive gold lead. And I mean, the biggest misstep was at the start of the game, where they'd lost 2 kills, and everyone started with this gold lead in every single lane. That's just cascaded out of control.
Ignar's Alistair, 2-0-8, 10 out of 12 kills.
I mean, I'm not questioning the pick anymore now, Stress.
No, I was thinking, Alistair not really a meta pick. Is it going to be able to do well in this lane?
Yeah.
Yeah, turns out it's going to do just fine.
Hansama versus Sartorius. Well, that was the full combo, bar the ultimate in from Sartorius. Now Hansama need to chase him down. He still has spell shield, so he can reaction ult that one. Alfari's getting chased down in the bottom lane. Still has his ultimate.
It's coming up in 5 seconds, I believe.
He TP'd into the bottom lane, but Epsilon did not want to stick around. Flash, E. And Ignar is already tanking the tower. Wisdom's going to come in, and Sartorius immediately regrets his decision.
It's the same play from game 1. This time it's AD carry and support that has jungler come across as well, but we saw game 1 Sartorius try and hold a tower when it was pretty much already dying, and die for it. This time he actually saves it. Well, if the 90% curse is a factor, this would be one heck of a game to rear its head in.
Yeah.
If Epsilon ended up winning, but I don't really see that happening on this one, Pulse.
Best of luck, Epsilon. You're gonna need it. Yeah.
It's sad though, because I actually was impressed by how they played the first game.
Me too.
The beginning of it. It looked good.
The snap decision on Baron.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, that is what we want to see. All eclipsed by what happened in this game. A series of missteps. It seems like they go into the game knowing what to do. It's just like, alright, bot lane didn't have such a great performance. Let's put them on Caitlyn Nami. We'll have them play from range, not get killed in lane. And then the lane goes 1-7. And it's just like, okay, now what? Do we just go the same and then we have Woolite and Noxic literally just stand at tower and just farm? Because even in this defensive lane, they lose against Sivir Alistair. What do you suggest? What do you do from here?
I don't know. I feel like it was a lot of it was the execution. Kosku's dead.
Here comes.
Oh, actually, Kyrie and Sartorius are here. I didn't look at the minimap ahead of this.
Ignar's gonna get speared. He does have an ultimate. Kosku gets blown up by Selfie. Sartorius uses a defensive ultimate. That's a chilling smite. And Selfie will follow down as well. He does so much damage. Ignor's aggressively flashing you after Noxiac. Noxiac just wants to go home.
Wave.
Exhaust comes down. Ignor just walking through the tower.
President Noxiac. Apparently Atlantis ruler with the bodyguards on the way back.
Oh god.
Kyra's
dead. Oh no, Walleye, he's got nowhere to go.
Put more traps.
Try and cut off the escape route. Hanshammer's gonna flash after him. Walleye, everyone chase down Walleye. Here's the hunting party. Oh, Selfie's gonna find him. Coscube, he's the next one in line. Flash ultimate misses. And we'll go back to his tower. And Misfits will take mid. This
whole sequence.
This is just hilarious. I haven't watched a game like this in so long.
No, honestly, like this is very rarely ever at this level do you have a game like this. And it's purely from how the game starts and then opened up. I mean,
this should be good.
I can see why Epsilon want this. I can see why. Unfortunately, Coscu gets annihilated. Like, wasn't even close. The damage that Selfie has is obscene. And everybody flashes everything. Oh, ride the wave. Point break in the bot lane here for Wisdom and Ignar. President Noxiac.
I mean, Ignar just doesn't care. Like, he's so strong. And like,
I think Ignar was actually wanting Trample to kill him then.
Yeah.
Like,
just run him over. And Selfie just, like, when you have a 7-1-4, like, Cassidy on the enemy team at 16 minutes, that's generally when you just say, alright, FF, boys. Like,
I mean, when you have a Cassidy 7-1-4 at 35 minutes, you're like, great, we've won this game.
Yeah, that's true.
This is brilliant.
He's not even the only threat on the team. Like, Alfari's 204, like, Hanshammer's 505, Sartorius just popped the ultimate on top of himself. I've got it a couple seconds behind on my screen, so I get to witness that again.
I was going to say, I believe he whiffed it. I think Alfari just turned around.
Yeah, he just turned for a minion. He carried on farming and it's like, oh, okay. Bot lane.
Selfie can probably 1v3 if he dodges the ult from Coscu. But if Wisdom's here, they can absolutely do this.
Yeah. Alright, well. Epsilon probably should just give up this tower. It's 17 minutes in. We've had 19 kills, and 18 of them are gone to Misfits. They have a 12,000 gold lead. Like, I think analysis just breaks down at this point.
So what's your highest CP Pokemon right now?
Oh, around 600 right now.
600? Yeah. I had to restart.
Yeah, you had to, yeah. Otherwise you were way in front of me. Kirei. Ooh.
This is, this is painful. Like, this game,
It's like sport. It's just like the hunting foxes.
It's difficult to bring meaningful discussion to how this game is playing out.
The worst thing is Epsilon can't even surrender.
No, they're another 2 minutes. And normally we do try and be a little more optimistic. Yeah, we doubled our kills for Epsilon.
Second kill of the game. But it doesn't even seem like Misfits are actively trying to finish the game. Like, they're just trying to find as many kills as they can right now. Coscu, Selfie dying behind the tower. Wisdom is shrugging off all of this damage in from Epsilon.
Oh, nearly 3-shot.
Boomerang, not quite in range this time. Well, escapes with his life. Selfie, just diving the tower. And honestly, there's not a lot we can say about this game, Stress. We have to just look really towards the next game.
Yeah, absolutely.
In which, I mean, what time is it? It's 6:25. We started this broadcast an hour and 25 minutes ago, and we were very rapidly approaching the end of this series. This could end up being a very short evening.
Yes, and I mean, for Misfits, like, I didn't think that they'd win this convincingly in a second game. Like, yeah, I really, like, I knew that they were a strong team coming into this, and we said that, you know, we didn't think there would be any lane that was really a contender for Epsilon, but like, this is a whole nother level. And honestly, I don't even really attribute this to like, oh, Misfits an LCS level team. This is just how badly a game can go if at the beginning you give up 2 kills, and then in lane you give up 2 kills, and then the one play you make to try and get back into the game backfires as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's how the game goes when it's like this. If you lose 3 early game fights pre-6 minutes, back to back to back, you're going to lose a game.
I think
like this
everyone,
against a competent team. Like,
I feel like everyone who's played League of Legends has had a game like this.
Yeah.
Where it's just like everything just goes wrong and all you can do is laugh because like everything just went wrong. And Epsilon really just need to start thinking about how they're going to try and Cloud9 Misfits.
So, 20 minutes is our normal leads that we take a look at, and the lead is currently 14.3k. May actually be one of the most significant leads we've seen.
On the bright side,
I believe there's an SKT game where they like 20k leaded somebody. Got him.
Yeah, he's one-shotting people now. Honestly, Epsilon's draft is like... Epsilon can win with this draft.
Yeah.
I would... Like, they could just pick the same thing in Game 3 and just try and execute better, and that would be fine. But yeah, like, just start the game,
I think they actually are just going
wrong.
to push 2 Nexus Towers here and win.
With Hansammer and Ignar. Yeah, I mean, they just killed everyone on the map. Noxiac will flash away. Wisdom's onto the tower. And this is game. 21 minutes. If anything, Misfits should be disappointed that they didn't get the fastest game in the world. At least they got Wisdom.
Yeah.
That's the Nexus time. Misfits absolutely obliterate Epsilon.
That was ridiculous. That is the most convincing Challenger Series game I've ever casted. Like,
straight up.
No
Hansammer down. Like, that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually don't think we've ever seen like a game like that. Even if you compare it to like the other strong teams that we've seen, like Millennium, Origin never did that. Yeah, exactly. That was actually a new summer record as well. 21 minutes and 11 seconds. The next shortest before was also from Misfits, so they broke their own record, and that was against Nerve, and that was 25 minutes. But 21-minute victory, and honestly, if they actually tried to close out the game instead of just killing everyone all over the map, they probably could have gotten like a 17-minute victory or something absurd like that and try and beat like the Immortals was an 18-minute win in NALCS.
I remember back in Season 3, there was like a 14-minute win, if I remember rightly. Yeah. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I know the old days of NALCS, there was like a game that was so short.
It just snowballed out of control.
It was just done. Everyone was like, no, let's just get out of this game. I like to actually break down the game is to look at the first 3 or 4 minutes, and like from there, there's not a lot that is beneficial to like look further in.
5 minutes, and that's like it. Yeah, maybe 5 minutes is too much.
So when we talk about the beginning of the game, just the start with the warding attempt and Misfits catching them out, I wonder whether that's something that they have scouted. Because that is something teams do time and time again, is look at how they open on a blue side opening, who walks where.
Sure.
Was it luck is another question that they just Noxiac walks past.
Maybe. I think it's like 2 things, right? It's like maybe 1, the setup, but 2, also the misplay of just walking into the Alistar and then walking alongside him and hope he went pulverize or didn't go pulverize at level 1.
Yeah.
And then that was it, like pretty much. And then like after that happened, and then like another member made the exact same mistake that Noxiac did. So
yeah.
I think execution.
And then not respecting the distance in the 2v2. Like, the one thing that you have to always be careful about when playing against an Alistar is that he's not in engage range against you. Whether that's headbutt combo, whether that's pulverized flash, you've got to be outside of that range. And on Caitlyn, it should be so easy to do that.
Yeah,
but
you outrange the Civis so much, and the Alistar.
Time and time again, Ignar is just catching those engages, getting the double kills. In Game 1, getting the hooks in the laning phase. Like, there's not a lot you can do if you're eating all the crowd control in a 2v2 setup like that. And then Hansammer's is like, fine, give me the outplay. Like, it doesn't matter what they've got.
I also think it was fundamentals in that lane, because you never want to be that split up from your support against an Alistar in lane, and then it was just like a free kill. Like, what is Noxiac going to do from there? There's realistically nothing he can do. So it's just, like, you look at Woolite and Noxiac and the experience they should have coming from LCS and like all the experience they've had as players, like, you should never see that happen. But it was fundamentals that really broke down in that game. But either way, that will round out Game 2. So we'll be taking a quick break as we set up for Game 3. So this could be the end of the series. So you won't want to miss it. And we won't be missing
quicker than the game, or
it will be significantly. 3.5. Ignar, he's gonna literally just walk up to Noxiac. he actually just walked up slowly and knocked up Noxiac, and will probably be looking for the kill here as well with the Ignite First Blood to Handsama. As meanwhile, Handsama driving low to Warline. He's going to flash after him, but he's outside of range. Handsama's already backing off, but Kirei's here. He'll flash into his own jungle. Warline's trying to pick up the kill, but it's not like he has E. Now he's trapped in the enemy jungle. Oh no, Misfits are just going to kill him. Selfie's low as well. Whoa, auto attack from Warline. It's not going to be enough. Kirei is trying to save his allies. What was this level 1? Oh no, Warline, he's got nowhere to go.
Put more traps.
Try and cut off the escape route. Handsama's going to flash after him. Warlight, everyone chase down Warlight. Here's the hunting party. Oh, Selfie's going to find him. 21 minutes. If anything, Misfits should be disappointed that they didn't get the fastest game in the world. At least they got wisdom.